Welcome to the City League Sports Show here. Today in the studio, people, let me share with you, we continue the speed. We're just speeding past everybody out there that's doing it. We got a former East High School Tiger in the house, Mr. Asa Burke. I'm your host, Dr. Vince Clarno. We're going to have some fun today. Asa, say what's up to everybody in Central Ohio.
Absolutely, man. What's up, everybody? I'm glad to be here.
Hey, look, so Asa, you don't, I shared with you briefly, and you don't know this, but we also have like a radio component. So,
Okay.
so this video, we're everywhere, right? We're out there. We're trying to come into your YouTube. We're podcasting it, but we have listeners only.
Okay.
So I need to help my listeners see what I'm seeing.
Right.
Hey, this guy right here is $1 million fly right now. First off, and we'll get into this, for video people who can see you, just do your hands for me, man. This guy comes in, he's got the Ohio State Big Ten championship rings on. He's blinged out from top to bottom. He's looking super fresh, and I just want you all, my radio people, to see what I'm seeing. We'll get into the OSU stuff, but now, so just thanks for showing that stuff off for everybody to see.
Got to.
But more importantly, man, how do you get started? We track and field talking today, right?
Right, yeah,
so you're a bad dude, man, and we track and field talking. So tell me, where does your journey begin?
Okay.
What's the path for you running?
So yeah, I'm glad you asked that. So for one, before I really was playing football first. That was the main thing that I was playing. I played for the Little League, the Red Devils in Little League. But I just noticed in the South Side, right? But I'm from the East Side.
Yeah, I get it. But that's okay. That happens. We all Central Ohio folks, man.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We Columbus kids.
And for me, my journey, I guess, me realizing I was fast came from just playing in the neighborhood. So I had a friend when I was in elementary school. We used to always just ride our bikes. I was riding my bike like it was my car back then.
Yeah.
And so what we'll do is we would race on the bikes. I'm always smoking him on the bike. So I'm like, you know what? Let me race you on foot.
Okay.
And so what I would do is, and I was still beating him on foot, but I'm like, you know what, let me give you a head start because, on the bike, you got to get rolling a little bit. So I'm like, once you get rolling, then I'm going to go. Or you tell me to go, and I'm going to go. And we just out there racing. And I'm catching them every single time.
Oh, wow.
Like literally going up and down the street.
Is this still someone you know to this day?
Nah, man.
No, but just a neighborhood buddy that you remember. Okay.
Neighborhood buddy. I don't even remember buddy name.
Okay,
but, hey, that was my boy, though, back then.
Yeah, back in the day. So, you just know, hey, when he was out there running, you was walking him down.
Absolutely. And that's when I realized
And what age is that for you, would you say? Is it 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, man?
Not that young. I was probably like 10, 11 maybe.
10, 11 years old.
Like right before, or probably like right before middle school, like 5th grade maybe, 10 or 11.
And the reason why I ask that is because I think a lot of successful athletes have a different story. They have a mom or a dad maybe that took them into and introduced them to a particular sport.
Right.
So it sounds like yours happened pretty organically for you as a kid.
Yes, and the person that introduced it for me was my older brother, Nicholas Burke.
Okay.
So he was the one that was doing all the sports in my family, or even in my immediate household.
Certainly.
Other than, because I have 2 older brothers I grew up with.
Okay.
And my brother Nicholas, he was the one that played football. He was the one that did track. He did track for Sherwood Middle School.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know what track was.
Yes,
I didn't know what a track
Sherwood
looked like.
Eagles in the house.
Exactly.
I know Sherwood. I went to Sherwood.
As you should.
Yeah, I went to Sherwood, man. Yeah, okay.
But then it's just I would always hear, stuff he was doing. And he's that type of older brother that would always tell me stories about what he was doing, about almost anything. And I'm that kid just listening to him.
Taking it all in.
And track was one of those things that he did. I think he said he ran the 400 and like the 4x1. I didn't know what none of that was, but I'm like, okay, it sounds cool, but I knew it was something to do with running. Okay. And then, but he's the one that introduced the sport to me.
Yeah. Did you run in middle school?
I sure did. So I went to Sherwood Middle School too. Absolutely. But I didn't graduate from there though.
That's okay, but you spent time there.
I spent 2 years there.
I knew our bond was genuine, right? We have a genuine bond. Yes,
something right.
Okay. So then when you left Sherwood, you went to where?
I went to Berwick Alternative.
Went to Berwick.
And that's where,
And you ran track at both places?
I did not. Oh. So this is something that also people don't know is my journey also trying to run track wasn't easy. Okay. So when I was at Sherwood, they let you do sports when you're in the 7th grade.
Yeah. And that's across the state.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
you know the rules.
The state. Yes, that's across the state.
And so at Sherwood, my first year trying out, I was ineligible to run track. So I had a 1.9 exactly. And I never forget this day. Because all my friends is out there. I'm like, it's going to be fun. I know I'm fast. I'm going to show out.
Right.
But then the coach at the time was Mr. Peace. I forgot his first name.
Okay.
But he called me into the office. Yeah, he called me me into the office like, hey man, this is when he had locks too, before he cut his hair.
Okay.
Called me to the office like, hey man, you have a 1.9, sir. I was like, oh, okay, but me being like me thinking like, oh, it's right there. Like, you know, I don't think you can let it slide. It's right.
Right.
He was like, no, I can't. Like, you're ineligible.
Yeah.
Can't let you run.
Wow.
So, and he said he said bye. But I was like, I was in shock. But I needed to experience that though, because at the time I was probably thinking like I can get away with certain things, just because. But he didn't even know my talent yet.
Okay,
that's the thing. Like, this is before.
But in your mind, though,
my talent. Yeah.
Okay.
My mind,
You
I'm
said,
like,
but
I'm good, but nobody else knows I'm good. I only know I'm good at this point.
Okay.
And so he just was like, yeah, you got to go. I literally walked home because I don't live that far from Sherwood.
Okay. Wow.
Walked home. I'm crying. Walking home, literally crying. So, and then the rest of that year, friends, homeboys, all clowning me because I got cut from the team. Right. But I didn't actually get a chance to run track until when I was at Berwick. And when I got to Berwick too, even there, even that whole journey is a pretty like long-winded story. But long story short, and I can get into
we only got a little bit of time, so we want to get in all the good stuff, right?
Long story short, though, I started off even at Berwick. I had a 1.6 when I first got there. I tried to play basketball. I was ineligible for that too. Okay. So I just wasn't really applying myself to school. Is all it really was. And then had some support from my mom. My mentor from Project Mentor I was in since I was 11 with Stanley Harris, who's the husband of Gene Harris.
Come on, they get love in here.
Right,
you know, I know that, right?
Exactly. And
yes,
so
indeed.
At that time,
and shout out, pause for a second.
Go ahead.
Shout out to Dr. Gene Harris.
Absolutely.
Stanley Harris.
Love both of them.
Yes, indeed. They get love here on our show.
Absolutely.
And I can remember, but I can remember even when Dr. Harris would ask me sometimes about you or what you're doing, say, hey, we come to this, we come to that. And then finally, like she kind of let me know, like, hey, look, Asa's a part of this is a part of our village.
I'm in the group.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. So certainly understand your connection with the Harrises at the time. And every time I've spoken to them and your name has come up, man, they shower not only their energy of love towards your world, but also just are extremely proud of you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? They was proud of you back then proud of you still. You know what I mean?
Man, I keep making them proud.
Yes, indeed.
And then I was going to say, just to finish off at that time,
please
too,
do.
it was them. And then also Dr. Keisha Fletcher Bates was my principal at Berwick.
Yes, indeed.
And they came up with this program. It was on.
And she gets love on the show. You know, her husband, Michael Bates, is one of our coaches here in Columbus. Yeah, so Mike Bates, head basketball coach, Afrocentric Early College.
Wow.
Mike is and I've known Keisha for a long time.
Absolutely.
And she's bad to the bone also, Dr. Fletcher Bates. We actually went to school together and was getting our masters at the same time, OSU. So we all OSU people too, right?
We all family at this point.
We're all OSU people as well. And so, so let's get into some of the meat though. So you had these challenges, and then your support team comes in and really wraps their life, wraps some love around you from school people, community folks, family, and now you're going, okay, boom, and you arrive at East High School.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
When does the running journey begin? We want to get on the track. When does it begin in 9th grade, 10th grade? When does the running journey begin for you at East High School?
So I started running track from 9th grade. I ran all 4 years.
Okay, all right, good.
At the time, I was running track.
Was you good in middle school? I mean, because you was bad in high school.
I was like that.
Okay, you was. Okay, so at Berwick, you hit the scene, and everybody is
absolutely
okay. I wasn't sure because I've seen some kids in middle school who could be good, but haven't turned that corner into applying. And then I look up and they're a sophomore, and somebody says to me, "That was such and such from Westmore." I'm like, "That dude wasn't at Westmore. I never seen this kid before." They're like, "Nah, he came in 7th in the 100. Now you know what I mean, right?" So I'm just saying. So, but in middle school you were good.
I was cold. The only thing is, I just didn't get to finish the city championship because I strained my back. So I didn't get to finish. Okay.
So you get there, 9th grade, East High School. Tigers is roaring. And what does that look like for you? Can you remember it in the 9th grade?
In 9th grade, I remember I was more so focused on football at the time.
Oh, okay, so
I thought I was going to go to the league. I wasn't focused on track yet at this point.
Okay, so but doing football, and you did track.
And then once I started to run track, I think for me it was my sophomore year when I started to really identify track as like, I think this is like where my gift is at.
What happened that makes you? Did you remember? Fast. Okay, like, but I mean, is there something that happened that made you say this is maybe the path I can go?
Yes.
This is the lane. Hey, I'm gonna throw out a whole bunch of track puns. This is the lane that I'm in, right? This is the lane that I'm in. Like, did something happen?
I would say my junior year something happened. I injured my ankle real bad, and I barely even played football my junior season.
Okay.
And then the same thing happened even my senior year, but it was more so, just the way my junior season went. And then again, having the injury in football, like I guess that's for me what happened that made it click for me in my head. Like, I think this is what I need to focus on.
Okay. So here you are, dual sport guy, and you did both sports all through high school?
Yeah, man, I did football, I ran track, I even wrestled for 2 years.
Just get on out there on the mat. Let's see who wants some, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so I try to encourage young people today, especially, man, like be a multiple sport kid, even if for no other reason, because it's going to help tone some different parts of your body that you don't even know that you know what I mean, that you're able to use.
Absolutely.
So you at some point are doing a little bit of everything.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You start off doing some football. Track comes to you kind of naturally.
Absolutely.
Now, before we get into too deep, and I want to do a background check for a moment. I read somewhere father's Jamaican.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right?
Born and raised in Jamaica.
Born and raised in Jamaica. Have you been to Jamaica before?
Absolutely. I've only been there. Last time I was there though was when I was 3 years old, so I got to get it together. I'm a citizen of Jamaica too.
Oh wow, got dual citizenship. Nice.
The U.S. and Jamaica.
Okay.
But I just ain't been there in a while. That's all.
Okay. My family and I, we were blessed to go a couple summers ago.
Really?
And obviously for you, like you said, you have that natural connection to it, right? Get back and have some fun, man, and go and touch bases there. But I think on the world scale, I think the world kind of even looks at Jamaica as a running place. You know what I mean?
It is.
Did you ever feel any of that as a kid? Did you feel like, hey, I'm just automatically connected to the universe of running because of that? Or was there ever a thought like that? Because when I read that, I said, oh, well, that's why Ace is. You know, I mean, jokingly to myself, like, of course he's fast. He's from Jamaica, right? Did you ever have that thought as a kid, or was that even known at the time?
Nah, it wasn't known at the time. Like as a kid, I was real free spirited, open.
Okay.
Like I didn't really, I just was enjoying life pretty much. But no, I didn't know. But I've always found myself just running though and being active.
Okay.
And doing a lot.
When did you find out that Jamaica is like a part of the running international discussion? When did that happen? Is that in college? Is that in high school? I mean, obviously you see Usain Bolt.
Yeah, absolutely, right.
Right, but I'm just wondering, like, at what point do you go, oh, Jamaica's that deal? Like, does that ever occur?
When I was in college, because we even got Caribbeans that come on our team. I got a real close teammate from the Bahamas.
Okay,
and I've been to the Bahamas with him and trained there. But I just noticed.
That sounds like a good time.
Oh, it was a wonderful time. It was amazing. Yeah. I always spent at least a month there.
Okay,
but that's why I need to go to Jamaica.
Yes, indeed.
But yeah, there is when I kind of like noticed it and it clicked. Like, oh, like I didn't know running was such a big deal amongst the Caribbeans, especially in Jamaica. So that's why, just like how you're saying, for me, I'm like, oh, this makes sense. And then later on, I found out like my aunts and them ran track too. So like, why you ain't tell me?
Right. Okay, because I just read that and I thought it was interesting. Right.
Absolutely.
Now I'm going to stick with East, and we're going to go back to East for a moment.
Yes, sir.
Now here's kind of my first memory to you.
Let me hear it.
So as you can probably imagine, in the role that I'm in, and our listeners know this, I get comments all the time about kids. Right. Oh, you should see this kid and that kid. Every kid is a bad kid, and I'm not knocking it. Right? I want you to stay in that space, and then there's some exceptional competitors in their field, in their sport.
Absolutely.
Right? And I'm not knocking anybody else, but they're just, I mean, like even when I was in high school, it was some dudes that was way better than me, right? And I'm not knocking them. We couldn't get over the hump. I say their names quite often, but from a basketball standpoint, Carlos Davis and Lamont Barnes, them guys, they still know who they are. Every time they see me, they can point at me. I know, y'all gave us the business, right? And so I say that, I remember people saying to me, oh man, you should check out such and such from East.
Yeah.
It's like, so I start hearing the name.
Glasses and neon green and all
you know
that.
What I mean? I start hearing the name. And then, as you can probably recall, when I would be coming over to East High School, the way East is set up, for everybody to give you a quick picture, which is cool, but their weight room is the athletic director's office. You have to cut through the weight room to get to the athletic director's office. So I would come over to East High School. I still hadn't made the connection to the Asa of the name that I'm hearing and the kid I keep bumping into in the weight room. I think you either like I think you used to just spend whenever you had a free period. I think you just was in the weight room.
Yes,
like,
sir, I was.
Hey, look, if I got study hall, you did whatever you were supposed to do, and then like you was to the weight room.
I'm in there.
So like people, every time I go to East, I go in to see the athletic director. This young man is in the weight room,
right.
and I remember joking with you about it, man. We had some decent conversations, but where'd that come from? Because that's way ahead of your time. Yeah. And when I say your time, I mean as an athlete. Most kids in high school, coaches and ADs and principals and teachers and all this, we're like dragging people into the weight room.
Right.
You was doing it on your own. And where does that come from for you?
It comes from the genuine love and like care and want to be a great athlete. So for me, like I mentioned earlier, I mainly played football first, but then naturally got into track.
Okay.
But my primary like goal for myself, I just knew I wanted to be an athlete.
Okay.
And I like genuinely like deep down really wanted that. And I wasn't always the good athlete.
Okay.
Like when I was in middle school playing for the team, the Red Devils, I was playing with some dogs from the South Side.
No doubt.
But I wasn't that guy. I was the guy with the goggles and the glasses and everything that barely played, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wishing to play, hoping to play.
We up 42-0, go out there and play corner or something.
42-0. Nah, I'm still not in.
Oh, still not in. Okay, wow. Yeah.
On the side.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. So
wow.
like
okay.
I came from that, but like me wanting to be like these guys in the spotlight. Like even Malik Harrison was on my team when I was in 8th grade, was on the same middle school team for a year.
Okay.
But watching them do their thing, me wanting to be that guy in the arena, that's where that comes from. And me just taking it real serious and also just a genuine love. This is where I wanted to be. Wanted to be in that environment, putting in work, trying to refine my body or whatever. Like I wanted to do that.
Now I read somewhere, and I don't remember the source. I should have noted that. But there was someone OSU connected, and we'll get to that. But they said you're like one of the most self-driven people they've ever been around.
Wow.
I got that written in my notes here.
Wow.
Self-driven. They said you're one of the most self-driven. So like when I hear you say what you just said, did anybody, like, who's planting are these seeds organically just popping up and sprouting inside of you? Because there's not a lot of people like that, to be very honest with you.
Yes, sir.
Are these seeds of self-drive popping up inside of you? Because there's not many kids who are going to go to the weight room. You said you wanted to be the guy, the athlete. You wanted to do these things, right? Is there somebody in your ear, at least a little? Does somebody get a little bit of love on helping plant that seed? Is there Stan Harris out there, older brother, mom? Who is somebody out there maybe helping plant that seed of drive? Because that's not normal. I'm gonna be very honest with you. It's not normal. It's not.
To be completely honest with you, it's just myself.
Just yourself.
Yeah, like obviously those other people that you name, brothers, Stanley Harris, family, those are all influences, of course. Yeah. But it's just really just
inside of you.
Myself. Yes, like I really take myself, I guess, just very serious, if that makes sense.
Hey, nothing. I take myself serious. Sometimes to the detriment. I need to work on my charisma a little bit. I'm smiling at you. Some people say I'm too serious sometimes, right?
That's why I'm so jokey and funny sometimes, because I really do like take things serious. But I think it just comes from me, and just me wanting to be the best me that I want to. And it comes from like that background before, talking about me not being that great athlete, and then also too, even in school, not being a kid with the good grades, getting ineligible. Like going through that level of hurt and pain, I didn't want to experience that again. So I took everything serious. That's why I went so hard in school and in sports. Like I actually cherished what I had.
Certainly.
Like I wasn't playing with it. Like it wasn't a game for me. You know what I mean?
Understood the gift in front of you.
Yeah, and I think that's where that self motivation just comes. I wanted to be where I was at and where I'm at now.
We had a young lady on the show a couple years ago, Whetstone softball.
Okay.
And she was talking about how in the wintertime, she would be in her garage hitting off the tee.
As she
That's all she did. Boom.
As she
boom.
should.
Every day for hours. Right. And I remember her saying that, going to myself, see that, like that. And that's that piece that separates that. And while there's a common thread for those that sit in this seat, those that we get a chance to bless this table with, and we are more than welcome, right? And excited that you're here. But you know, like when you said, I just remember seeing you and thinking to myself how abnormal it is for a dude to want to be a kid. You know, I'll say that to you with the highest level of respect, for a kid to want to be in the weight room on their own and just improving him or her. Because there's so many things you can do in high school to get in trouble.
You can do anything.
You can do a lot in high school to get in trouble. We all know that, right? And so that's kind of how I met you. And then I really mirrored and married the two together.
Absolutely.
Oh, this is the dude. The name you've been saying to me. That's the kid I keep bumping into, right? Because I hadn't made. When you hear it, and I hear so many names.
I'm sure.
Right. So even when I'm hearing the name, I'm not making the connection. And then
understand.
Cities, your junior year. Come on, let's talk about it.
Now, man, you're
hey, right. So for city championships, you go out that year. You win the 100.
Absolutely.
You win the 200.
Say it again.
Y'all win the 4 by something, 4 by 1, something, right? Like you was out there getting it that day.
Absolutely.
Right. Take us back to what was going through your mind during that day, junior year out there.
First of all, I was nervous. I don't care what anybody say. I don't care how good I was doing the rest. I was nervous, and the reason why I was nervous is because I had never won a city before, but I did win a city the first time in the 200 meters my sophomore year. Okay. But I lost in the 100, and I lost to this guy named Ronnie Kuipers from Independence.
Ronnie was a bad dude.
That boy was bad. I don't care how many. And that was my first time ever beating him that day. Okay. My first time ever beating him ever in the 100. And I've been racing him since we was in middle school at Johnson, since he was at Johnson Park. Okay. I know I'm like, who is this dude? Like I told you, I thought I was bad. Yeah. But I literally when we were in 8th grade.
Sports teaches us that.
All the way, exactly.
That it's other bad dudes out there.
You ain't the only one.
It's other some bad folks out there. I'm sorry, go ahead. Yes,
good. And that's what made me lock in.
Yeah.
Like, cause even that same season, I still was losing to him. And even aside from the weight room, like I think after I lost to him, I think recently that same season, I started getting up before school, just doing like little circuits or whatever. I'm like, cause I know he ain't doing this, so I'm gonna do it.
Right, got to do something. Get your edge.
It's all love with him too. But I was nervous cause I knew I had to bring it. Like I knew I had to run. I knew it wasn't in the bag. Wow. Like I knew it wasn't. So
just not a luck. And let me share this real quick. That's the beauty of our league.
That's why I love it.
The beauty of our league is that we put out, especially in track and field, some of the fastest kids in the state. Like even last year, for all of our listeners, give you a little plug. AJ from Independence, DJ, who's currently at Marion Franklin now.
I heard about him.
Those two dudes were 2 of the 4 fastest guys in the state last year.
As they should.
I mean, we like you know what I mean. Like it's 2 guys right here competing to win a city championship that both finished first, second in the states.
It's amazing,
right?
Man.
So I mean, like we're talking about guys that are out here. So you had that same
and it starts
blessing.
In the city though, like you said.
You had that same blessing with Kuipers.
Exactly, and with him, I'm talking about.
And y'all the same year?
Same exact year, same age, all that. Like literally, the journey was very similar. But I was just nervous before that meet. But once I won that race, I was like,
then it was let's get it.
I'm like, I'm here now.
Where were we at that year?
We was at Mifflin. I'm not gonna forget that.
Okay, yes. Well, and because we typically host our cities at either like we'll choose like a Mifflin, a Whetstone, Eastmore, Afrocentric, right?
Right, exactly.
So some of those spaces. So we're at Mifflin that year.
Mifflin, boy.
And so you're just having a field of day because I can remember. See, for me, I remember you winning. I don't remember where it was at because I've been to so many, right? So you win the 100. And you feeling fly as ever.
Absolutely.
And now does that carry you through the rest of that day?
Absolutely. They gave me confidence. Like I was already confident, but it's like that race is what solidified everything for me, for the confidence that I had on the inside. Yeah. And what the biggest thing that helped too is I'm big on, even at that time, I didn't realize how big I was on prayer when I was running. Okay. I pray every time before I get on the blocks. Okay. And I would literally, in all the nervousness that I said that I had when I was there, the minute I say the same prayer, dear Lord, I pray that I can perform to the best of my ability, pray everybody comes out this race safe, not injured, not getting the blocks. Yeah. But as soon as I do that, like this ultimate confidence just comes in me for like 5 seconds until the gun goes off. And then when it's off, I'm literally just going. Like I'm letting go and letting God take the wheel. And I did that in that moment, and I've been doing it ever since throughout my whole career.
Throughout your journey.
But that's how that race went for me though.
I mean, those are some profound pieces, man, for a 16, 17-year-old dude,
Absolutely.
man. So let's stay in that moment for a moment.
Okay.
Is anybody pacing you and guiding you through this? Like after you win the 100, and I know the accolades and the smiles and the laughing and those things, but who's the coach or the person, the teammate, the captain, or whoever? Who's the person that's locking you back in to say we not done?
My
Who's
teammates.
That? Your teammates.
10,000% my teammates.
Okay.
Yeah, my teammates at East High School.
So a good nucleus there, a family of you all.
My boy still to this day.
Okay.
Talk to him to this day. One of his birthdays today, our shot. He was our first leg on the 4x1 when we went to the state championship.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. But them, like they were the ones, and I know, and even though you said you were also seeing me in the weight room, there were times they were also in the weight room with me. And that's what helped to keep me in there too.
That's what leaders do.
So my friends, like them around me is what really helped me to be like it's what really helped me to have that junior season that I had.
Wow.
But they were the ones for me, and also Coach White. But yeah, though my boys.
So in that year,
team speed.
And we'll fast forward because I want to get to. I want to get to the OSU stuff.
Absolutely.
How do you? We're going to jump. We're like going to jump from junior and all the special things you did in high school. And I want to get to how do you end up at Ohio State? What's that story?
Yeah.
Down the block from East High School.
Yeah.
Literally, right? So how does that occur?
So I'm in the car. I don't remember whose car I was in. I know I was in the back seat. I wasn't getting kidnapped or nothing, but I was in the car and I got a call from our the lady that worked the front desk at East at time, Miss Solano. She gave me a call. Yeah, Miss Solano gave me a call, and she like
Perry Solano gets love on the show. I love that. I love.
And her son is close to my oldest brother.
And people don't understand how many behind the scenes folks are a part of everyone's journey. So she gets love, but Miss Solano calls
Miss
you.
Solano called me up. She like, hey, sir, the coach from Ohio State, they said they want to talk to you. I got his number. I wrote it down. Give him a call. I'm like, okay. Wow. This is my first, and this wasn't my first like call of any school like trying to recruit me. And this was my June. I think this was my junior year.
Okay.
Or my senior year. I can't really remember. But she gave me that call, though. And I'm like, all right. And I think the first person I spoke to was Richard Jones because he was a coach there at Ohio State at that time. And I think he was the one that then told Joe Brown, who's the assistant coach there at Ohio State. And then I winded up, when I talked to Coach Jones, then I talked to Coach Joe. I honestly can't remember who I talked to first.
Yeah, but the sequence of it.
Absolutely. So I talked to both of them. And then, and I'm be honest, I didn't really want to go to Ohio State when I was in high school because I wanted to leave Columbus.
Okay.
I wanted to experience something new and I wanted to run somewhere else. But Joe pretty much insisted that I come and visit Ohio State.
Right.
And I visited during their homecoming. All the schools that recruited me was trying to bring me on their homecoming.
Yeah, that's a good time. It's a good weekend for a college kid.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I went on my visit and just, like I said, I didn't want to, but like on my visit, I got there and I'm just like, this is amazing. Like I love it. And full circle moment, Deshaun Marshall was my host.
Yes. Oh wow. Yes. And we've had Deshaun on the show.
Absolutely.
For those that follow us strongly, you remember Deshaun talking about some of his days in running and his accomplishments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I met him when I was at Berwick. He was an intern at Berwick getting his internship hours. And while he was at Eastmore, and I met him there in full circle. He wound up being my host and then my teammate.
Wow!
But it just felt like it felt right for me. I visited Ohio State. I visited Cincinnati, that town up north, University of Michigan.
I do. Well, well, my daughter goes to school there, right?
Oh, okay.
So for me, and I So and they do well, and they're treating her great up there.
As they should.
But I certainly, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I went all of those, and then but after all my visits, I literally sat down and I had a desk in my room, and I wrote down all.
Are you a lefty?
I'm left-handed, yeah.
Oh, well, he's mimicking radio, folks. He's mimicking writing, so that's what jumped out at me.
And I wrote down all the pros and cons of each school I visited, and Ohio State was just a long list. And I'm like, Mama, this is where we going to go.
This the one, right. Well, you know what's beauty about it is you said you wanted to experience something different.
Yes.
And there's Central Ohio.
Yes.
There's Columbus, Ohio.
Right.
And there's also Ohio State.
Absolutely.
That's that's actually a different experience all in itself, right? Yes. And so, unless you're a kid or something like that, and you don't, if you don't go to school there, for those of us outside of it, we see it. We see them on the television and those things. But when you're a student, it's a different experience. So even for you, you probably got some of that different experience. Like you said, you wanted to leave Columbus, but you still got that. You got that experience, right?
Love, like it felt great.
So let's stay in this OSU space for a moment because we don't have a lot of time. You shouted out and gave love to Deshaun Marshall. I want to throw this out there real quick. We'll get into some of the accolades before we get out of here. But somebody at OSU makes the decision to put you on the 4x400 team as a freshman.
And I ain't even run that in high school for
that's my point, right? You was a 1 and 2 guy.
Well, I was nervous.
So how does that happen?
So actually, that happened because I was recruited originally as a short sprinter, 100, 200, and 60 meters.
Okay.
But when I got there, I injured my hamstring right before our first meet at University of Kentucky, and I couldn't run.
Okay.
And as I was trying to get back, they put me in the 60 meters in New York. I ran slow, ran bad.
Okay.
And then, and they don't play about that at Ohio State. It's like, but after I did that, but I was running well. I ran on the 4x4 at that same meet, indoor 400, as the first leg.
Okay.
And we won the race. I did well, and Coach Brown was like, you know what? We're going to put you in that 400. So then after that, and I'm still technically trying to like get back to 100%, I ran the open 400 meters at Spire at a regular, like an indoor meet. Yeah. And I ran in like 47 seconds, which was at that time, I think the second fastest on the team. Because there was only one other 400 sprinter that we had. But again, it's just me naturally I just went out there and just ran. Right. But I ran a good time. Right. And then after that, they like, come on, let's get it. How you in? And they threw me on there, and I was running there the rest of the season.
You know, what's interesting about that, man, is we have these moments in life that sometimes just sort of happen. Yeah. Right, just on their own. Right, like you know, you don't really plan for it.
Yeah, exactly.
You probably as an 18-year-old running, graduating from high school. Preparing to go be an OSU student, right. 400 ain't popping up in your head as this is about to be what I'm going to go and do. I would guess, right?
Of course not. I did not want to do it.
So then fast forward to that spring of, what is that, maybe 2016,
that
something
17.
Like that? 2017, right? So spring of 2017, now all of a sudden, you done ran a good 400 time, and now you're on a 400 team.
And I had a goal, even going in there of wanting to be on the record books, wanting to get championship rings, because Mookie Barnes was there too.
Come on, Mookie wanted the back.
She had all hers on. I'm like, I want that.
Well, and so look, so like you keep saying how all connected we are. You heard me mention the name earlier, Lamont Barnes.
Yeah.
That's Mookie's dad.
Word?
Played at Eastmore, so her dad was the one. So and she's you know what I mean, as great as it gets for us as well.
Absolutely,
we have a lot of love for her. But yeah, so her father was a bad athlete. Was out here running around doing all his things at Eastmore, and he started off at Briggs and then ended up at Eastmore as a student. But I keep us in this space of you're still, from what I understand, you're a member of the 4x4 OSU record holder team.
That's this ring right here.
That's that one.
And then this is the first, and that one that you mentioned my freshman year, this is this ring.
So now we on the rings. I'm sorry, radio listeners, we on the rings now, right? Because this is how we started the show.
Right.
And we'll end it. So go ahead. You say, tell us about
so the one that I have on my right hand is actually the...
hey, and like they say, those is purdy. Those is purdy, right? Yes, indeed.
And so this was from 2017 Big Ten Championship. Deshaun Marshall was also on that relay too, but we won the 4x4 outdoor. We also broke the facility record at Penn State University at the time. Okay. The Pinky won my sophomore year, indoor 4x4. We won, and this was also the school record, still the school record at Ohio State for the indoor 4x4.
Who's on that 4x4 team with you?
For indoor?
For that one, the record holder team?
So for this one, it was me, Nick Gray, Traylon Bromwell from out of Canada. Okay. And Andre, I forgot Andre's last name. He was a freshman too. He was our last leg. He was the one that brought it home for us.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm sure you can YouTube that race. Both of these you can YouTube and find them, but that was an amazing race.
So here's how we're going to start to wind it down. I read also that at some point you did some time at University of Miami.
Absolutely.
How does that happen? Where's that path, right?
So long story short, 2020 was my senior year, and my season got so I was in New Mexico at the Indoor National championship for track with Ohio State. They canceled the meet, they canceled March Madness, they canceled the NBA playoffs, they canceled everything. And they flew us back to Columbus, and the coaches just pretty much told us like, the season's over. And in track, we have indoor season and outdoor season. Certainly. So our indoor season got cut short, but our outdoor season got completely canceled. Right, okay. And so at that time, I literally had a moment of, if this ends today, what are you gonna do? And I did not have an answer. And so with that, I knew I needed time, and I knew I wasn't ready to step into the real world yet. And I knew I wasn't done with track yet. Okay. So NCAA made an announcement. We're going to give these athletes extra year eligibility who missed out to spring sports. Right. I said, bet. I immediately started applying to graduate programs to get my master's. I applied to University of Florida in Gainesville, Baylor, Miami, and Cincinnati. and Cincinnati. Those are only 4. And then I also reached out to these coaches too.
Yeah.
So some of them knew me already from previously getting recruited, but reached out to them and just said I wanted to come. Miami was the one that called me.
Certainly.
And, gave me the best offer. And it felt right. I originally was going to go to University of Florida in Gainesville because I got accepted there. Okay. Told the coach I'm coming, but then I was like, you know what? Some don't feel right. Like I feel like I need to be in Miami. Like something's pulling me to Miami, and I'm just like, yeah, that's where I want to go. Gave the coach a call, let him know. He was like, all right, cool. And I was there. And this happened in May, and I was in Miami by that August.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey man, what a beautiful journey you've had. Mm-hmm. I mean, real talk. Like it sounds like you've had some fun experiences.
Absolutely.
You've had some great life lessons that I think are going to maybe carry you for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's more that we could get to.
Yeah, right? For sure. Might need a part 2.
You know what I mean? Yeah, there's more that we could certainly get to. But like, man, it's interesting that your vision, in the way you see things. Mm-hmm. Been like for me, man, been an eye opener to hear part of your story because and I think these adversarial moments that you've had have not only helped your journey, but then those are part of the things that I would say just listening to you that help kick some of that self-drive into motion, man.
Yeah, it turned everything around. I went from being ineligible to being valedictorian in my high school.
Right. And then like you said, man, just there's so many, it's beautiful. And Central Ohio can be maybe like a microcosm of what goes on across the country, right? Absolutely. But we got some bad folks in Columbus City schools.
I'm already knowing, man.
You know what I mean? Like when you yell out a Mookie's name, a Deshaun's name, a Malik Harrison's name, and then we could keep going. Like so then that's your generation. But then I could go a chapter ahead, and then a chapter ahead, and then we make the connection with Mookie's name. And I just mentioned I didn't know you was gonna mention Mookie today, right?
I got to, man.
But what I mean is I'm giving her father that same kind of comment.
Yeah.
On a day where I don't know that's going to come up. I didn't know you were going to talk about her obviously being at OSU during the time that you were there.
When you come from the city and you're getting recruited, trying to figure out what school you're going to, and you see these familiar faces, and you're like, oh well, and they're doing something you want to do already.
Certainly.
Makes everything easy to make a decision.
Yeah. Hey man, you're a bad dude. We are certainly appreciative that you came and shared with us and caught up with everybody on the show, Central Ohio. Y'all got to check this dude out, man. Whatever y'all doing out there, man. Hey, some of your energy, keep doing what you do, man. It's contagious.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And keep on shining and having fun. That's what we do here today, man. Like our time is to help, you know what I mean? Let people know, hey man, here's another one.
For
right?
Sure.
And another one.
For sure.
And another one. Right, here's another one. I'm gonna turn it to you, man. Anything you want to share to our listeners that we didn't get a chance to talk about today?
I just really appreciate you bringing me on here. Like I really appreciate it, and I really love like what you've created here, and just me being able to actually just put some context to a lot of things that I've accomplished, because it wasn't an easy road. Like I said, nothing started off good pretty much for me. Like even me transferring from going to Sherwood to Berwick was a safety issue in the neighborhood I was in.
Yeah,
so I had to, but everything worked out the way it was supposed to, and I was around the right people, and I just really appreciate like Columbus City Schools and everybody that's been in it, that's helped me along the journey, because I did not get here by myself.
No, I love that.
Say that. So that's
and let me share this about the show, man. I am a part of a phenomenal team. We got some bad folks for those listeners out there that are behind the scenes that make us all look good. Right. The lights and the sound and the camera and the action, right? And then even coordinating with you, the producer of the show is a bad guy, man. You know what I mean? So like I'm lucky enough. I have this historical context. I've been around Columbus my entire life. Right. It helps out for me because I can go back to when I was a kid in Columbus City. Right. And so I can remember those moments of all the bad people that was running around doing things then. And then I started my career in the school system, man. And here I am 25 plus years later. So even when I wasn't always following, per se, sports, I was always following it because I've been a high school person my entire life. So I've seen the Asas of the world and can remember and go, oh, I remember when such and such, when she was doing this or he was doing that, And so, no, man, hey, we're blessed to have you on the show. I'm honored. I got to do the stuff that they asked me to do at the end here, man. So we do an outro and then we wrap it, man.
As you should. Let's get to it.
I love it. Hey, a bad show. I told you all when we started here today, we speeding past everybody here in Central Ohio. Asa started us off today with the bling. We ended with the bling. We showing it again. I mean, those, like I said, those are purty. But much respect to you, man. Appreciate you being on the show.
Absolutely.
For all my radio listeners out there, follow us or listen to the show's future episodes, WCBE 90.5 FM. And then whatever platform you catch your favorite podcast, Spotify, Apple, follow the show. For all my IG people out there, at City League Sports 614, this is the City League Sports Show. We're out of here.